I wanted to run, but my feet felt glued to the floor. As if the ghostly figure were holding me there, keeping me from escaping, Terri let out a low cry. She bumped me from behind. I think she had stumbled, but her bump got us both moving. I took one last glance at the pale, flickering figure. His bony frame shimmered in the eerie candlelight. He started toward us, his mouth twisted into a strange grin. The dark eyes gazed at us blankly like black buttons on a snowman. Then we turned and ran. Terri sprinted ahead of me through the tunnel, her sneakers slapping the wet floor. Slap, slap, slap. Slipping and stumbling, I struggled to keep up with her. My legs felt as if they weighed 1,000 pounds. The blood pulsed so hard at my temples I thought my head might explode. Go, go, go! I shouted all the way. I turned and glanced back. He was coming after us. No! I screamed. I shouldn't have turned back. I stumbled over a jagged rock and went sprawling on the hard floor. I landed hard on my elbows and knees, gasping for breath. I spun around, in time to see the ghost's bony hands reach out for my throat.
You can't scare me, not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy, calling all
Boo dudes! Welcome to Paul and All Pauls. Wait, this isn't about the big show. Welcome to Callin' All Creeps, a podcast about Goosebumps. What's up, you cute little Stine heads? I am Matt, and I'm here as always with my friend Dave.
Who is pulling all Pauls.
That's right, you're pulling all Pauls. Man, I stumbled right out of the gate. Third word
good,
I said was wrong.
I was trying to save you. I was going to be like, and it turns out, favorite ice pop from Paul's, grape.
Wait, is Paul's Italian like an ice thing?
Well, no, Paul's like pulling all Pauls. As in, we just found everybody named Paul and we asked them, we polled them on things.
What their favorite ice pop is. And they said
grape. They said grape.
It's whack.
I mean, they also, when it comes to racism, yes or no, Paul said no.
Oh, well, good. It's probably a close one, though.
But it's weird because they said their favorite nut, pistachio.
You know what my favorite nut is?
What?
The ones I do in the shower. Wow, Dave.
I knew we were getting there.
How are you doing?
Not too good. I actually just took a shower.
Me too.
And my phone, there was a text, and I went over to check to see if it was you, and forgot that I had shampooed my hair but not rinsed.
Oh.
I just got a... I don't remember the sensation of getting so much shampoo in my eye.
You got to use No More Tears.
You know that? I think it means no more tears.
No, really?
Yeah, and I think it's just been wrong this whole time. Like, your hair won't tear.
If anybody's out there that works for Johnson & Johnson and can weigh in on this, please let us know. That's a compelling argument.
Yeah.
I always thought it was for like baby
Johnson.
eyes. Yeah. If any of you Johnsons want to Johnson & Johnson our Johnson, please sound off in the comments.
It was not Johnson. Well, Johnson & Johnson owns everything, but it was Head and Shoulders.
Sure.
The almond one.
Okay.
I put that on my beard. Makes my skin beneath very soft and not flaky or anything.
There you go. Nice.
It's good for the face. All right. This book...
Hey, we have a book, and it's a good one, baby.
It feels good. Actually, I do have more segue.
Oh, okay.
Because I realize when this episode is coming out.
Uh-huh.
And this coming...
Go on.
Tuesday?
Oh, sure. This coming Tuesday.
You and I are going to be visiting two very good friends of ours.
Huge announcement to make. Are we going to make it?
Yeah, let's make it.
Okay. Do you want to do it?
You got this.
Okay. This coming Tuesday, sort of like our entire lives have been leading to this. But
yeah,
it's super relevant now that we've been doing this for roughly a year. On Tuesday, Mr. Robert Lewis? We should know this. Robert, Leonard, or Lewis Stine is going to be at Paramus Barnes & Noble, and that's where your boys will be. We're going to meet our hero. Don't come there and murder us or him.
I always thought it was Lawrence, and I didn't want to say it. It's Lawrence.
Shit.
Robert Lawrence.
Okay. Well, now we know.
We'll edit it out.
We'll edit that out.
Edit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just edit a cough over what you were saying.
Robert Lawrence Stine, something I knew the whole time, we both knew the whole time, is going to be at Barnes & Noble, and we're going to fucking meet him.
Yeah. And it's crazy because he wrote these awesome books, and how can you not be drawn to them with that beautiful art on the front? Mm-hmm. Wait a second.
Whoa.
Is Tim Jacobus going to be there as well?
It's a doubleheader, Dave.
It's a doubleheader. It's like a goddamn snake with 2 fucking heads.
It's a triple header if you count his mole.
It's true. I want to pet it.
Me too. I hope his son will be there so he can feel my face.
See, it's funny because we have some people reached out to us on a lot of people reached out to us letting us know that this was happening.
Yes, for sure. And I appreciate
Kathy
all
beat
of those.
everybody to the punch.
Yes. Shout out Kathy for
And
this opportunity.
if you are in our area, just know that you do need tickets for the Q&A.
Yeah. Right. It was like $10 though, wasn't it? Small price to pay.
Yeah, it was not. And you get the graphic novel.
Yeah.
It's an original graphic novel that RL Stine just wrote. You get that signed, and you get one other thing signed. No personalization, which is a big bummer.
I know. That's a huge
It says no personalization, but I really wanted my Calling All Creeps book signed that just says, "My son is not blind, R.L. Stine."
Right.
And then our buddy on Instagram, Fake Mike Jones, who is always very active on Instagram and other things. Shout out to him. He said that, he sent it to us and said that we should get our copies of Go Eat Worms and have them write, "I'm horny for worms, R.L. Stine." Love RL.
We could have him write H for the W and he won't know what that means.
We could also just write, "My son is not blind," and be like, sign here.
Have an X with a line.
Yes, sign at the X.
Yeah. We could do that. I was bummed out by the fact that we won't be able to take any pictures with him.
We can't?
No, it says you can take pictures in the line, like of him, I guess. But you can't, he won't pose for any pictures.
Well, we could just have someone behind us take a photo of us with on either side.
Yeah.
Thought. Do we dress as R.L. Stine for this? Do we each just wear
I don't think
black
he'll
dress
get
shirts,
it.
black pants? Well, it's not for him. It's for our photos.
Yeah, that's true. But I was thinking we could wear our Goosebump button-downs.
Ooh, that would be really cute, and we match.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Oh, it's a date.
Okay.
It's a date. All right, so we'll see. I don't know if we can get in trouble for this, but it is really interesting to see these two do a Q&A together after how many years since they've worked together.
Yeah.
I mean, Goosebumps ended, what was it, like 97?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, the
So,
original series.
Yeah, so and then Jacobus was off. So, I mean, it's like 20 years.
Yeah.
Over 20 years. So, it'll be really cool. If you guys have any questions, feel free to write those on our Instagram, message us. We'd love to have R.L. Stine hear our voices, just like he does every other week.
Right.
When he listens to this podcast, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the bath. His wife comes in and he's like, "I'm having a soak."
He would say, "I'm having a soak." He has a clawfoot bathtub.
He
It's
does.
filled with blood. And then he sleeps in a coffin.
He definitely sleeps in a coffin. I imagine that the coffin is like right next to the bathtub.
Yes,
And his
of
wife's
course.
like,
He
it's
doesn't
like,
drive.
Robert, you never took out the damn trash. And he's just like, "Damn it." And he like,
the lid, you hear it slowly creak, and he goes, "Mud on."
well, I imagine him getting out of the bathtub and hiding, but like the coffin's right next to the bathtub, like standing up on the wall, and he's
Right.
like, "Ah," and like hides in there. I mean, this is how my dreams go.
Yeah.
My fan fiction.
He could afford a coffin. He's a rich man.
He is. But anyway, yeah, we'll be seeing him send some questions. I don't know how legal this is or right, but I would love to try and record the Q&A.
Oh, sure. Well, nobody's going to, take our phone, right?
Yeah, and then post it as an episode so you guys can,
Beautiful.
if it's worth it. So,
Yeah.
you'll figure out how that goes in our next episode if we have something worth giving you, or and of course our favorite things from that, our favorite takeaways, questions, or anything we learned about RLS, we will deliver straight to you and your ears.
Yeah.
Next episode.
And if you want us to find out like what his ears feel like, or like what his mole feels like in our fingertips, if he is wearing a bra, boxers or briefs, any of these things we'll find out with our hands. So, let us know.
Or if you see us there, come say hi.
Yes, for sure.
Cool.
Cool, Dave. It's Ghost Beach.
That's
number
fucking
22.
Right.
An excellent book. I don't mean to jump the gun, as I say every episode, but thumb on the scale. This is a great book.
This might be the best one.
It's refreshing after...
It's very good.
Scarecrow was all right, but we've had some duds.
We have.
So this was really a delight.
I'm delighted.
Phew. Mamma mia. I feel so
Pizza
good about
pie.
this haunted beach.
Man, cowabunga to this beach.
Ugh, Papa Pia.
So, this book, Ghost Beach, came out in August of 1994. Let's bring us back to that fateful time. What are you doing?
That was a rewind noise. You think I should do it every episode?
I think you should from now on.
Okay.
Do you know what the song was?
August 1994. I'm gonna guess it was a jock jam of some sort. Perhaps Boom Shakalaka. Is that a song or is that just something people said?
You're very wrong.
Okay. Go on, Dave.
Do you want a hint?
Yes. You say I only hear what I want to.
Look, the most like 90s looking lady.
Lisa Loeb.
Lisa Loeb.
Oh,
stay.
My goodness.
That song is a jam.
It's great. I think it holds up. That jangly guitar gets me.
I just want that as like my ringtone.
Yeah, it's like
or
a text
anything.
noise.
Like anytime I get a text.
It is isolated like that. It could be like your computer startup noise or something.
Yeah. Or like anytime you come. And then anytime you take like a gross shit.
Ooh, that would be so soothing.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
My goodness.
And then the movie is Clear and Present Danger.
Okay. Is that
starring Harrison Ford? Yes, it is. Runner-up was Natural Born Killers.
Okay.
Quentin Tarantino.
Sure.
RDJ is in there.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, it was written by Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
Who is it? Like some
no directing
stone?
credit.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I got two goods. So on August 10th, well, actually, let's go with these. We have two goods. So, well, here's our bad one. On August 11th, Peter Cushing died of cancer at 81.
Okay.
Who starred in Doctor Who, which who cares because he was Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars.
Ooh, yeah, Doctor Who, indeed, because Star Wars overshadows it. Go on.
It's weird that there was this grammatical error in here. Where it says cancer, it actually meant blown up in the Death Star.
Wow.
Because it's crazy because this is when they were working on the re-releases with the deluxe CG and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, George Lucas was just like, well, we need to get back to this shot, and we'll get Peter Cushing. We'll have to really blow him up this time.
Yeah.
CG and his head popping.
Yeah.
And it'll look pretty solid.
Famously brought him back in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just completely downloaded him from the internet
Right.
and just farted him right in that movie.
Which I think he looked good, but I know people talk about this all the time, and we're over it. Especially it came out like 3 years ago or whatever. But he looked good, but they could have like downplayed his screen time, and it would have been like way better. Like, kept him in the shadows a little more.
I forget who I was there with, but like somebody they were like, yeah, that guy, he was just like so dramatically turned, and I was like, who's he supposed to be? Isn't he just the guy from the Death Star? And the dramatic turn was more that like, look what we did.
Yeah, it was. I did get that vibe, like check it out, look at this technology we have, and it's like, well, it would be, we could just hear his voice, and you could show like whoever is alive. Also,
having that power is deadly. Like, I bet there's so many videos that George Lucas has CG'd of him just like, it's like, oh, it's so weird, Steven Spielberg. Why are we making out? I know we're buddies, but it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Let me see Peter Cushing, the way you rendered him. Okay, good. Now, you made the nude one, right? Can I see that? No pants Cushing? Okay, good. The dick looks a little small. I'd like you to make it a little larger, and could you put some condiments on it? Oh, that looks tasty. That looks good. I'd like to gobble it up.
As I like to say, we have more cushion for the pushing. That's right. More Peter Cushion for more Peter pushing.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Then on August 22nd, this is like every now and then I find stuff that no one else really cares about, but Jeff Buckley releases his album Grace.
Oh, sure. Hallelujah.
Which is... but like a solid fucking album.
Oh yeah, it's the one.
It pretty much is his one.
But
it was good. Yeah, so we got that, and then just some info. Ghost Beach was adapted into a Goosebumps graphics story, a graphic novel in July 2007 by Ted Knifey.
Too violent.
It's the second story in Scary Summer, which sounds to me pretty scary. It was re-released as the third story in Slappy's Tales of Horror in September of 2015, another graphic novel.
Kevin Knifey. Go on.
That's no Kevin. This is a Kevin.
This is a Kevin Knifey. So are you splashing about? Go on.
By the way, I watched all of Flight of the Conchords. I finished last week. Yeah, very good.
It's good. It holds up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's certain words that I just catch myself saying in a Kiwi accent.
Kiwi.
Like never.
Uh-huh.
Like Neva.
Neva. It is Neva. Kiwi is okay to say, right? It sounds cute.
That's what they call their accent.
Okay.
That's what they call it in the show.
Okay.
They call it a Kiwi accent.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm not racist.
No, I don't doubt you. I like to, I want to say it. It sounds cute, so.
Present?
Yeah.
I just love
present.
And how they say no. No has so many different vowels in it. It's like no.
Yeah.
No.
Depending on how short or how long they want it to be.
Yeah, it's crazy. No. Anyway, the ghost on the book of the cover of the book has been reused for a lot of different box art, including Terror in the Graveyard board game. But in the board game and other places, they actually call it the Headless Ghost.
What?
Which is weird. They call him the Headless Ghost, that art, even though there is a Headless Ghost book.
Right. And he's not headless. He's faceless.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Weird. And then classic Goosebumps reprint, which is what I was reading from, where the cover kind of blows compared to the original, which is so dope.
Wait, what's the reprint? Show it to me.
It's basically the same exact cover, except there's like a fire triangle face. That's not as good. Yeah. It's nice, but it's just the face, just that they went so hard on the face with like, it looks like a fire butthole where the mouth is.
Yeah, it looks like the Scream mask.
But fire. I don't know why the face is on fire. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But because they re-released this, it also is the tie-in to a book called Heads, You Lose.
Okay.
No idea that had to do anything to do with this book. But, all right. So, this book starts with a dream. Yes.
A very spooky dream, Dave. And I don't remember it at all. Oh, yes, I do. They were in a graveyard. So there's two peeps in this book. We got our main man. Dave. What's his name?
Really?
Jerry. Oh, see, it's Jerry and Terri.
Yeah, so the only thing I hate about this book.
I didn't put that together until right now.
Jerry and his sister Terri.
Yeah. Jerry with a Y, Terri with an I. Well, that's it. Bye.
So this, this book just hits the ground running in like what I want from Goosebumps.
Yes, I like the way it starts too. Like even the first line. Do you agree? It's like I don't remember how we got to the graveyard. It just puts you there.
Yeah, and it doesn't fucking matter. Like we don't want to be like, well, we took the bus, but there were 3 different times. Like fuck you. We want the graveyard now.
Which RL would do that procedural bullshit that you were just describing.
Not this time.
But not this time. Yeah, it's great.
Head first.
So we're in a graveyard.
Yeah.
And Terri likes graveyards. That's a real life fact, like beyond this dream that we're in. Terri actually does like graveyards. Terri is the younger sister. Of course, Jerry's 12, Terry's 10 or whatever. And Terri likes to do stone rubbings of the headstones.
Yeah, she likes to rub off on some stones.
Exactly, yeah. They both J-O. Well, I would say that, well, Terri jills off, right? That's what they call it. Well, if Jerry jacks off, Terri jills off.
Holy shit, is that where that comes from?
Jilling off, I think.
Like, no, but like Jack and Jill.
I think so.
Fetch a pail of water.
Yeah. Oh, that's a pail. There's no water in that pail, Dave. If you looked in that pail.
Real weird.
The joke is
we're getting
that
to everything but this book.
Okay. So, it's a pail of jizz. So it's Terri and it's Jerry. They're in a graveyard. Basically, Terri and Jerry. Well, Jerry sees like his own grave, doesn't he? What does he?
Well, it's like
Dave. You describe this.
So I feel like this book fucking rules, but R.L. Stine has cursed us by needing to say the main characters' names. There's no way that you could be like, oh yeah, it was super fucked up. There was a car accident and 2 kids lost their parents and they were just covered in blood and I just didn't know what to say to Terri and Jerry. And you're like, wait, their names are Terri and Jerry? Like, it doesn't matter. It just sucks that because we're finally having to say it out loud and it sucks.
It sucks.
But there's a graveyard dream. They're in the graveyard and all of a sudden like little green hands start popping out.
Oh, that's right. It's very
ground
classic.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And his sister's like, run for help. And then, of course, he believes that he dies and he wakes up. The reason he's having this dream is because they have arrived in what I'm thinking is Massachusetts.
It is.
Because they say a small New England town.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're somewhere in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I think they are.
Because they talk about pilgrims in this. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that's what they did. But it's kind of cool that they are actually from our hood.
I agree. And it says, your book says the same thing, right? It says, it sounded great. The cottage, they're in this cottage in New England, which, by the way, just to get this in before I forget, part of what I love about this book is the setting and the way RL builds the setting. And he does this really well in a bunch of these books. Some he kind of passes over, but this is like, there's an expert level of that in Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Yes. I feel like we're really there. Same thing here, and I feel like I can picture the cottage, I can picture the beach, I can picture sort of what's happening and the way they're displaced from it says their hot, stuffy apartment in Hoboken, New Jersey to New England, and I see the blues and grays of this cover, which of course that's just sort of like, I don't know, confirmation bias is the wrong term, but like I've seen this, so I'm exposed to it, so I have it in my head. The cover's great, by the way. I like the art a lot.
One of the best covers, hands down.
Yeah. But it's just great. It really, really puts you there. So it says, there's a hot apartment in New Jersey. That's where they're from. So it was nice to get away, to go to this cottage in New England with their cousins, their distant cousins, Brad Sadler and Agatha Sadler.
And Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler blended Jack and Jilling off. So Brad and Agatha, they're older. They're like
ancient.
Yeah,
they're 1 billion years old.
But they
just talk about how old they are all the time.
Ancient distant cousin. Dad said Brad and his wife Agatha were old when he was a kid. But they're both fun and really energetic despite their age. So they invited us. Blah blah blah.
It sounds like it's probably his grandparents' cousins.
Right.
That's what I thought.
It's got to be that. I don't know if it really nails down the relation other than distant cousin, but
doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So Terri and Jerry having a great time.
Again, it just fucks every
sucks.
fucking time.
Should I do like T and J, or is that
let's
is
just
that
give-
worse?
I don't know. Let's just keep going.
All right,
We'll see.
Yeah. They're having some fun. They like doing, specifically Terri likes doing outdoorsy stuff. So she's always like, she likes solving mysteries is a thing.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? And
Solve the mystery of the heart.
the first thing, yeah, good luck, Dave. The first thing Terri wants to do is to do some gravestone rubbings. So they go into the graveyard, and there's some legit shit in here. I mean, it's like, it's very surface level observational. Like if you go to like New England,
New England, everything's old.
So you'll see a gravestone like this, and it says, she pointed at a small gravestone. Engraved on the front was a skull with wings sprouted on either side of its head, and that is, of course, what you'll see from these headstones in the 17th and 18th century. That's a common thing. It says it's a death's head, my sister explained. Very old Puritan symbol. Creepy, huh? And then it has sort of the inscription that you would see on a stone like this, and the phrasing you would see. So Terri loves this shit. Second, she loves wildflowers. So there's flowers. She's going to pick it. She's going to dry it out, glue it to a board like a little weird freak.
Slam it in her goddamn book.
Yeah, slam it in the book.
Thirdly, she also likes bird watching.
Loves a bird or two. You got an oriole? Give it to me. You got a blue-footed booby? Let's see it. You got a dodo? Put it in my beehole.
So they go there and they're looking, and the weird thing is that they're all named Sadler.
Yeah, like everyone in the town, dead or alive, is Sadler.
Has their last name.
Yeah.
So we've gotten this cool setting.
Yeah.
Small New England sleepy beach town on the water. Old, just quiet, still. And there's a graveyard off the beach. Cool setting.
Yep.
And for some reason, it's all distant relatives of theirs in a way. And anyway, it's all their names. So when they're out there, they meet, they see a cave.
Yes. They see a cave.
They start walking in, and all of a sudden a monster attacks them. No, it's a kite.
Right.
Oh, no, it's a big bat. It's a big bat kite.
It's a kite.
And there's 3 children there that say hi.
Yes.
It's Sam,
Louisa,
and
John.
Nat. Which respectable names compared to Jerry and Terri.
Sure, yeah.
So they basically say, don't go in that cave. That shit's haunted.
Haunted as hell. And they're serious about it. They seem spooked.
They mean it. They do. And they say that their last name is also Sadler.
Yes.
They're like, hey, our great-great-granddaddy fucked everyone around here.
He was horny as hell, and all of them died from syphilis.
He blew loads into trees, dogs,
rocks, the sea,
hats. Yeah.
He said, my lady is the sea, and he walked in with a boner into the ocean every day.
That's why they call it the Boston Cream Donut.
That's right.
Of our great-great-grandfather.
He had his own little tea party in there.
Anyway, they're like, all right, goodbye. So they go to Brad and Agata, and they're like, hey, what's up with the ghosts? And they're like, we know those kids. They're also distant cousins of yours. Don't go in the cave. You could die because it's a cave and you are children.
Yes, correct. Sounds reasonable.
Fair. Yeah. The next day they go wildflower hunting.
Yep.
And RLS is being all tricky and shit. Somebody figured out how to use encyclopedias. And he has all this cool flower knowledge. And they're looking for a flower that's white and looks like a bone, but turns black after it dries.
Yeah, I kept picturing like a mushroom. I was like, is she looking for a mushroom? And she thinks it's a flower?
Yeah. It's like maybe RL Stine is like, you know those flowers that are like white and like stalky?
Yeah.
And every now and then you get it in like your soup.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Right.
Yeah, you get stuffed ones sometimes, Italian places. So they're looking through and they find something that looks like a bone. Because you know what looks like bones?
Mushroom.
Bones.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, phew, thank God it's not a person. It's just a dead dog.
Just a dead dog. Thank God.
And at that point, their fucking fam gets over there, and they're like, "Well, what's up? What'd you find?" And they're like, "We found these bones."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, it's definitely a dog. There's no predators for dogs around here. It was the ghost who did the killing of this thing."
Yes.
And then we get a pretty dope throwback to Dead House.
What? Oh, wait, why?
Because we learned that the only animal that can perceive who is a ghost and who is not are
yes.
dogs.
Correct.
So they say they always kill the dogs first,
Right.
which is also something that they said in book number 1, Welcome to Dead House.
Right.
Which is why they killed their dog.
Yeah.
What was his name? What was his name? Trigger was...
Trigger was Monster Blood. This dog...
Whatever, it doesn't matter. So they find some bones, and then that night Jerry can't sleep, and Terri scares the shit out of him by like hiding in the curtains.
Yes.
And just like, "Hey, we must talk." And they say that it's... I don't even know why she scares him. Just scares the shit out of him. And then when they go and talk to Brad and Agatha, they basically say that it's all just ghost stories. The kids live here. They're all alone. They have no one else to hang out with.
Yep.
It's just them trying to get a rise and have some fun.
Yep. Everyone's real cagey about the ghost. I like,
and it's a
the
small
fact,
town.
Yeah, I like that nobody, like halfway through the book, you still have like no details about this ghost.
Yeah.
And it works because people like shut down and get serious, and it's like, oh shit.
And it's just like we don't get any other people. It's not like they're on a crowded beach with a bunch of like other beachgoers.
Yeah.
It's just these 3 kids and their elderly cousins.
Right.
So the next day they go to a tide pool, and they're looking at all sorts of mollusks. Mm-hmm. And the brothers and sisters come to meet them again, and they're like, "Yeah, it's cool that you found a tiny starfish, but we've seen the skeletons." Which is like, sounds like a really dope 80s goth band. We've seen the skeletons.
Yeah, we've seen the skeletons, Louisa said solemnly. Nat peeked his head out from behind Louisa's leg. The ghost comes out during the full moon. So he's in there with like a flickering light, and there's no way to explain it, but Terri is not buying it. Well, first Terry's not buying it, then now Jerry's not buying it, and Terri says she's not so sure because she's a little freaked out by everybody's reaction to the ghost.
These kids love bones.
Yeah, they love bones, and they keep bringing up bones and ghosts, and she's like, what am I to think?
Yeah, it's nuts. So they're like, this is something for us to think about. And they head home, talking to Bragatha.
Yep.
Cleaning up some dishes after a peach pie.
Ooh, baby.
Nice peach cobbler.
The meals in this book are incredible.
They are.
The Agatha makes delicious treats for the kids.
An old style chicken pot pie.
Yes, a beautiful peach pie. All kinds of shit. It's like Camp Nightmare breakfast. They're beautiful.
Yeah. You name a pie, this lady will make it.
That's right. Yeah, for dinner you eat a big bucket of diarrhea, but your breakfast, oh, mamma mia, mwah. For the listeners, I kissed my fingers like a chef.
This lady, she makes all the most obscure pies.
Yeah.
She's like the audiophile of pies.
Yeah, she makes peach pie, cherry pie, banana cream pie, Boston cream pie, poontang pie.
Matte cream pie. So then they're like, I love this scene because Brad's like, hey, you guys only brought back one towel. You may have left one. And he's like, I'll go look, goodbye.
Yeah,
and like runs
right.
out because Jerry's like, I can't be kept in this tiny house with these old people any longer.
Yeah, Jerry also is horny for that cave, baby. He wants to take a look. He sees a flickering light in there when he goes out for the towel, quote unquote. And he just climbs right up there to that cave. It's like a shrine in Breath of the Wild. He's like climbing.
Yes.
And he's got a lot of stamina. And he's like, I'm going to get there and do a little beep boop on the thing, and the door's going to open, and I'm going to go inside.
But then it starts raining,
yeah.
and he loses his grip. And also, he's constantly slipping on the rocks.
Yes.
You get a real good feel for the danger and the elevation of the cave, because every time they're walking up, there's always rocks and dirt sliding down and water and stuff, which is pretty crafty on RLS's part.
Yeah.
More to come on that.
Yeah, more to come. And he doesn't even have his paraglider, so if he slips, he can't like rocket down. So it's sort of unsuccessful, but Terri comes out, doesn't she?
Terri comes and sees him when he goes to see the lights.
Yeah.
And when Terri looks up, she's like, "What lights?" And the lights are gone.
They're gone, baby. So he's a big old liar.
But the next day, everything's fine because the 3 family people have fishing rods.
That's right. The little kids, the other Sadlers have fishing rods. They're going to go fishing. And Jerry says, "Guess what, you little babies? I tried to take a look at that light in the cave." And they're like, "You didn't go in there, did you?" And he's like, "Nah, I didn't go inside. It was real slippery. I didn't have my paraglider." But he knew. It says, "I only knew one thing for sure. I had to find out why they were
I had
terrified."
some bogoblin eyeball. I tried making a stew out of it. It hurt me.
But it was just like, it's like when you throw in like a goblin eyeball and like 5 other things, and they're like, "You made trash." And it's like, it's all like pixelated, and it's like, well, if I eat the trash, I'm not going to get any value out of it. For our Zelda listeners. So Brad and Agatha, they start talking again about the cave to Brad and Agatha. They're like, it seems like they know something, but, they won't really say.
And they come up with the most bullshit excuse for the
oh my
flickering
god,
light.
it's so dumb. We've established in the book so far that Jerry is a science man. He used the word incisors when he found the bones, which is insane.
Yes, he did.
And they say, Brad and Agatha are like, well, it's it's Aurora Borealis. Isn't that what they say?
They did. And they're like, yeah, it's like the static electricity in the sky. It happens, you know how it happens up north?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. Yeah, it's the same shit, but in the cave.
Yeah, like when you rub your
No
feet
bet.
on the carpet and you shock me in the dick. It's like that.
Well, we're doing the wrong accent. We should be doing a like Martha.
Oh yeah, like a Boston. I can't really do it. It'll just sound like me, but I'll like make my A's long. Is that it? Is that a Boston accent? You make your vowels long.
Yeah, I guess so. Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, I can tell this is not... The only thing is that he didn't name anybody Martha in this book.
Nah, so
and
you
they
can't
were like,
say Martha.
Like Louisa? No, Martha.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so they're like, oh, don't go. He still never found the beach towel. He's like, hey, you guys ever see a beach towel? And they're like, no, we didn't lose it. And he's like, fuck, I'm going to have to make flyers. Hang on from town.
Reward. $10,000.
And that's becomes the plot. It becomes the mystery of the hidden beach towel.
And Terry
the lost
needs
beach
to
towel.
solve the mystery of the beach towel.
That night, Terry and Jerry are just like, yo, fuck this shit. We're going to go investigate. So they go and they see a light flickering at the end of the tunnel. So they go inside and there's bats.
A lot of bats.
Interesting description. You know that we always get like, oh, this is happening. Oh, no, it was actually this.
Yeah.
It's just like someone pulls a gun on somebody.
Yes.
And it's like, it actually was a Snickers bar. And they said, you're not being yourself. Have a Snickers.
That's right.
But this one, it was like the ceiling is caving in on them.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, we're about to be crushed. And then it's like the ceiling hung and moved. Oh, shit. The whole ceiling was bats.
Yes.
Still scary.
Yeah,
But
they don't like bats.
cool. It pulled away. Yeah, they really don't like bats because Terry hates getting rabies.
Yep.
So at this point, they're like, we already came this far. Let's just go to the next chamber that the light's in, and they head in. What's the worst thing that can happen? It's not like we're going to get attacked by some hideous ghost homeless man.
Can I describe the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
It's this. An old man with long, stringy white hair and a beak-like nose. He sat hunched over a crude table made from a log of driftwood. Pale and terribly thin, his worn shirt hung loosely on him. His eyes were closed, shadows played over him. He seemed to flicker in and out with the candlelight. So this presumably is your ghost. And it also says at the bottom, slowly he curled a bony, gnarled finger. Come here. His voice was a dry whisper, dry as death. Scary.
It is, and I want to say something crazy. He used dry a lot for this old man. This old man had no moisture to speak of, but at no point did he discuss cotton in this book.
That's a good point, Dave. He's used dry as death before, but I like it, though.
This is it's a big step for RLS in this book. We'll talk about that in the writing.
We can't really overstate how well composed this book is. The tone, the pacing, it's more restrained, and it's just, I don't know, it's more well done. Better execution than a lot of the other books.
Yeah, it's like the other books, like Worms was written well, but dumb premise.
Yeah, it was.
Scarecrow was written poorly with a good premise.
Right.
And this is, I feel like he really honed in.
Yeah.
He got the sights lined up. So this old man is some sort of ghoul.
It would appear so.
He lit up the whole place like it's some sort of Bed Bath & Body Works.
Dave, turns out he was smoking a doobie in there. They just called the cops, and he was arrested. He got 26 years for one spliff.
Come on, it's New England, so he got murdered.
They sentenced him to hang.
Because they were like, ghosts aren't white, they're transparent, which may as well be black.
That's right.
I'm going to kill you.
That's right, and they planted evidence on him and then locked him up forever for a misdemeanor. But this isn't a politics podcast. I love Boston, though. I have a great time up there. We both go to New England often.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I have family up there.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a good place.
It is. There's a lot of ghosts.
I
used to go to Cape Cod all the time.
That's right.
This brings back a lot of memories.
Is there?
Setting, so
I mean, outside of maybe this, like the South, is there a more haunted place than New England?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, right? Like
probably like old castles and shit in Europe, but
yeah, old England is more haunted, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm sick of that. I like the new one.
The new one's good. Yeah.
I do hate the Patriots though.
Yeah, I think all of football is bad. I think it's everybody's getting all fucked up with CTE and stuff, and they're all like monsters.
I don't enjoy any New England sports.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a Sox partisan, but I understand. They're doing poorly now, so all the haters can rejoice.
It's good. I'm fine with it. It's just anytime there's a story about sports and someone being an asshole, it always seems to be.
Yeah, it's always like Tom Brady loves Trump, and you're like, oh fuck. All of the Red Sox are going to the White House. You're like, oh, all right.
Yeah. So the guy is just like, whoa, and like runs towards them and like grabs them and shit. And they get away.
Yes, correct. And they think that they have seen a ghost.
Yes. They're not sure.
Yeah.
They're like, could have been a ghost, could have been an old man. Regardless, didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like, you ever see somebody who's just so fucked up and crazy? Like, you're in the city at night, and they're just like, it looks like they just were like, time to start my night. Took some meth, ran through a plate glass window, and is just standing there. Mm-hmm. It's like one of those people where you're like, I don't know where you came from or how you got here, but I'm very afraid.
I mean, he's in a cave, so he's a maniac. If he's real, he's a lunatic. What are you doing? Why are you in there? There's a herd of bats that came out that preceded him.
There's only one old man in a cave full of bats that I like, and his name is Alfred.
That's right. Yeah. His name is Bruce Wayne, and he has no joints. He can't move his knees anymore.
Well, that's the problem with this guy. We know he's not Bruce Wayne because, as you said, he was smoking a joint.
Yes, he was doing a doob. 420 blaze it, and that's not allowed when you're Bruce Wayne.
Funny thing, me and my cousin from New England, we made these characters that we used for movies and everything, and his character, who was in a wrestling game, his name was Doober.
Yeah.
And it was just like a dumb noise that we've made up. But I think our parents thought that we were like very into marijuana. And at one point came and like questioned us like, because we were like in 6th or 7th grade and we were like fucking nerds. So they knew like, but it was funny. And I realized this much later that they were like, why this name? And we're like, why do you, what? Like we were embarrassed because we're like, it's hilarious to us. But when your dad is just like, what is this Doober thing you're talking about? And we're like, it's like a character. It's like
100% not what you think.
Yeah. It's like a big burly man that we make wear silly clothes in wrestling.
Yeah.
And
I had a similar thing that I don't know if I've talked about this in therapy, but
good start.
I definitely, as a child, like around the same age, like I just thought in the same kind of simple way that like fire is cool. So I had a bunch of lighters and I had a Zippo. I had like a Johnny Cash Zippo where he's giving the middle finger because I was like, cool. And you like...
Hey, he's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of country.
That's right, baby. And I just had it. And I would literally just like with my friend after school, just like put something on the in the parking lot on the pavement and just like light it on fire. It was like
that's awesome.
You know, like whatever we had. Nothing destructive, and it was always like safe, whatever. But anyway, long story short, yeah, my parents were pretty convinced that I was smoking pot.
How old were you at this point?
12 or 13.
Oh, okay.
So,
and how much pot were you smoking?
About 10 grams a day. I don't know drug measurements. That's probably a lot.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
No.
I could never finish my dime bag, so I would only get a nickel's worth.
That's right. Well, I was doing a silver dollar every minute.
Sacagawea bags.
That's right. But anyway,
anyway.
That fucking bothered me. And, you know, my mom, like, tore up my room looking for weed, and I'm like... Good luck. Anyway, falsely accused.
So that night the locals visit them. All of a sudden they're looking out the window and they hear a dog barking and stuff, and then boom, Nat's face right in the window. Yeah. They're doing a whole little like two kids in a trench coat act.
That's right.
One's on the other one's shoulders. And they're talking and saying, "Listen, we know the ghost, but we also know how to stop them. We got to do this, or else he will make all of us bones."
Yes, that's right.
Just like he did to that pupper.
Yep.
So the next day, they're like, meet us at the beach in the morning. We'll make a plan. We'll fuck this fuck up.
I want to say before this, though, Terry and Jerry go to the graveyard. This is, I think, the chapter just before this one. And they see 3 little graves there. And the graves belong to the Sadlers. Louisa. Bulbasaur, and Nat. And
that's because the next morning it rains.
Yes.
So the kids don't show up, and they go to the graveyard. And is that when they? Actually, no. There's a different graveyard part later. But yes, they find the graves, and even to the point where Nat was like 6 years old when Nat died 350 fucking years ago.
Yeah, old as hell, and yet. He speaks pretty normal. He's like, "What's up, dude?"
Yeah. So they get freaked out and they run back home to Brad and Agata, and they say that everyone in the graveyard is named after them and that they found their dead friends. And they say, listen, you'll find our names in there. It's all of the Sadlers because the Pilgrims came over here. And it was the Sadler family, that group of Pilgrims, because, you know, Pilgrims just came on their own boats and families.
They all just fucked each other.
And they showed up here, and they died that winter. It was a rough winter, and they all died.
Yep.
And that's the family is all buried here, and then that's the family is still around. And they're like, yeah, our names will be there, too. Both of us as Sadlers. Because, like, everybody's had our name in the family. And I thought about it, and I was like, wait a second. Does that mean Brad and Agata are, like, incestual old grandpa couple? They're like, because they're saying like both of our names are there as Sadlers.
Yeah,
we're all named after our ancestors, both of us.
Yeah, I don't know how to do the math there to make it not weird, so I'm just gonna say it's weird.
It's weird.
I also want to say in that chapter when they're describing like, no, we're named after all of our relatives because we can't think of any new names. Agatha is also picking blueberries in the afternoon. It says, then we made blueberry ice cream using an old-fashioned churn. It tasted better than any ice cream I'd ever eaten. Agatha said it was because we picked the blueberries ourselves. Delightful, Dave. These details, magnifique.
There's so many good.
Beautiful.
So many good. This is what I was looking for. We were named for our ancestors, too. You'll find gravestones for an Agatha and Bradford Sadler in the cemetery too.
That's right.
Yeah, so they were fucking cousins who were fucking.
Yep. They're a H for the C, Dave. Horny for the cousins.
So they're at that point they go back and they see the boys.
Yes, they're back in town.
And they are saying, "Hey, we're gonna get this guy. There's these rocks. See,
they're on the top of the cave. You push.
We
the
stacked
rocks.
them up there. They're ancient rocks.
They're ancient, special magic rocks, and if you push them, they perfectly form and fill the mouth of the cave, much like in Last Jedi when Rey picks up all those big old rocks from the back entrance of the cave because they perfectly fit in the mouth of the cave. That's what you're going to do, but you're going to reverse it. You're going to unuse the Force and just keep them there. Does that make sense? And they're like, yeah.
Perfect sense. We got it.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, exactly. Last Jedi. Awesome.
Nailed it.
So they're like, well, that's weird. Why don't you come and do it? And they're like, but we're so scared.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's the wackest excuse.
We live here all the time, and then we get so scared.
Yeah. It's like, you've been here years, and you've never, like, just gone near it? Like, no, it's serious. It's too scary.
And they're like, well, what if the ghost comes outside and sees us, and we live here? He'll come to our house and haunt us.
Right, yeah, it's so dumb.
Dumb idiots.
But Terry and Jerry kind of say yes. They're like, all right, we'll try it.
Well, like, I think Jerry is just like, you know what, fuck this. And Terry's like, yeah, we're in.
Yeah, Terry.
And Terry, it's just, Jerry's like, what the fuck?
I know, Terry turns heel.
All the time.
Yeah.
So, they go to plan to push the rocks. They get up to the top. Rocks are moving again. They're pushing up. There's little mini mudslides. They get to the top and they instantly see the kids like running for the woods like, fuck.
The worst lookouts of all time.
Yeah, because behind them is Oldman Ghost.
Right. Oldman Ghost is there. No one did their job to warn Terry and Jerry, and now Oldman Ghost is dragging them into the cave.
Yeah. Drags them into the cave, and he basically says, like, listen.
I may be a cave freak, but I'm a man.
He's like, also,
man.
And I came from England, where I got my doctorate.
Yes.
I am a scientist, and my science is in ghosts.
Yeah.
I am an occult scientist.
Right.
Because I went to college for that.
That's right.
Because that is a thing that you can go to college for.
Yep. I'm a man.
Yeah,
in
where?
black.
Maybe like True TV University.
Yeah. I was a guest. I had a guest appearance on Ghost Encounters.
Yeah. You may have heard of my college. It's called Spike TV College.
Yeah. I work for TAPS.
Titties and penises, sir.
Exactly.
So he's like, they're like, well, why are you being all spooky in that cave? And he's like, because it's a sacred cave and ghosts aren't allowed in.
Right, yeah.
Like, well, what ghosts are you saving yourself from? And they're like, those damn kids. They're ghosts. All three of them are ghosts.
Yep.
I'm like, well, we don't believe you. And he's like, well, why don't you go to the east side of the graveyard and see for yourself?
Yeah. So then...
What's in that graveyard?
Well, this is like a real Christmas Carol situation that we got going on here, because Terry and Jerry see their own freshly dug graves in the cemetery. Yeah. What day is it? You there? What day is it? Why, it's Christmas, sir. It's Christmas Day already? Oh, bless you. Oi, it's Christmas Day. Bob Cratchit, right. You have the day off. And Teeny Tim, you all come here and I give you a kiss.
Teeny Tim. That was a weird Kermit impression. Isn't Kermit? Wait, no,
Kermit's
it's an actual
Bob Cratchit, but it's also an actual movie.
So, yeah, I know. I just like that one better.
No, it's a good one. That's the best one.
So he says his name is Harrison Sadler. He is an occult scientist from England. And I said, in the beginning, they say that he's a ghost because he has horrifying teeth. And I was like, well, this kind of explains that.
Yeah. Ooh, damn.
But when they go to the graveyard, east side of the graveyard, there are freshly dug graves.
Yes.
One for Terry.
And one for
Jerry.
That's right.
The Jerry Terry Connection. That's their tag team name.
So, let's just call a spade, Dave. The kids are ghosts.
I don't know. All I'm saying is people are pointing the ghost finger back and forth.
That's right. But it's a little dubious of the kids to not go near the cave. and they're like weird.
It's weird because the kids come back again,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Hey, you gotta go kill that ghost."
Did you kill him? Is he dead? All right. Well,
And you're like, "No, he caught us. You are the worst lookouts."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, you should go kill him now."
yeah.
And like, "Well, that's the worst idea. We were just there." And he's like, "Yes, they won't expect you to try to kill him twice in one night."
Idiot.
And Jerry obviously is a rational thinker and is like, "Fuck you, no." Meanwhile, Terry's got that itch.
Terry's got that itch.
The one thing that we learned about Terry is that if there's a chance you can murder a British man, she's in.
Yeah. She thinks he looks frail enough. He's a intellectual man, so that means he can't fight. So she's gonna take him down. She's gonna go for the bony old knees and just bring him to the ground.
RLS probably wrote this book because Peter Cushing died.
Yeah.
He was like, an old scary. He used to do a lot of horror stuff. He played Frankenstein. He played stuff. So
Cushing would be good in this role. Old Cushing.
He would be really good.
Yeah.
Well, we can just get
Lucasfilm.
George Lucas to pull him out of his iPod or whatever.
Yeah, bring out
his
the
iPod of people.
your loincloth version of Peter Cushing and throw him in the cave.
Misa Peter Cushing.
He's just flopping his dong over the fire or whatever Jar Jar Binks does.
So Terry's like, yeah, let's fuck this up. So they're walking, and the brothers and sisters are in the back, like spooked. And at this point, Terry leans over, and you're like, why would you say yes? Like Jerry's like, why? And she's like, I'm just sick of this shit. Let's just find out who's a ghost and fucking murder somebody. And Jerry at this point is just like, all right, you ever get in so much trouble that you're just like synced in, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna fucking do this.
Yeah, let's just fucking do it. Let's just own it. Like, we're committed.
So that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met that old man. I've talked to him twice. Don't care for him. Let's murder him.
Yeah.
So they climb to the top, and they're like, oh, no, it's raining too bad.
Yeah.
How about we wait in the front of the cave for a second?
This is Terry, by the way. She's like, come on, let's wait in the cave. I know you guys don't want to come in the cave, but just come inside. It's like, it's raining sideways. Like, you're being ridiculous.
And they push him in to the cave, so they're hanging there. And, of course, our buddy, Harrison Ford. What the fuck's his name again?
Peter Cushing.
Harrison Sadler shows up. And he's like, there they are. They're ghosts.
Yeah.
Terry's like, put your money where your ghost mouth is.
Yes.
You know, your circle mouth that goes, woo. And he goes, oh, I got this. I got a ghost detector. And then all of a sudden, a fucking dog comes out and is barking at the kids.
That's right. And as we know, animals know some shit about the paranormal. Yeah. So it comes down to the fact that the kids are the ghosts, and they eventually admit it, and they're like, oh, yeah.
Well, they also admit it because their hair falls off.
Yes.
And their faces turn to clay, and they just get skull heads.
This is also a throwback to Dead House.
Dead House and also
Indiana Jones.
Piano lessons.
Oh, yes.
Piano lessons can be murder.
Mm-hmm.
But then the kids are saved by everyone's favorite science, erosion.
Oh, right. Well, the kids aren't saved. They're trapped.
Well, Terry and Jerry
are saved, right. Because the rocks magically fall where they're supposed to.
Because it's been raining so heavy that it eroded all the top. And this is a cool thing because usually R.L. Stine doesn't need to lay the puzzle pieces. Mm-hmm. Like, he could just be like, boom, lightning hit a tree. It fell and smashed all three kids.
They were trapped forever. And the end, the tree was alive.
It was a tree that the Pope planted, which made ghosts die.
Yeah.
But, like, he talks about Jerry every time he's on the beach up the rocks, how the mud's sliding and how the rocks are falling down. He makes it seem very unstable so that this is a believable outcome.
Right.
Really good. He shows and doesn't tell.
Yeah. He suggests
for the first time.
The book, yeah.
He suggests it, and at the end, he doesn't say, like, hey, remember how when I walked?
Yeah.
Every time,
As I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's slippery. Anyway, the rocks fell.
Yeah. So the one thing they said is, like, well, we trapped those ghosts. Also, Harrison died so that we can live.
He did sacrifice himself. Metal.
But we don't know if Harrison was a ghost or not.
No. Yeah, you're right.
And so, do you want to take the ending? They head back home.
Sure. So they run back home. They've had quite a day.
Yeah.
And Brad and Agatha are like, what's going on? Now, they think that the dog got trapped in the cave with Harrison, but actually the dog got out, thank God. This is like the first book where a dog isn't called like a fucking idiot just for existing and, murdered. So the dog comes like near the house or in the house and snarls and starts to bark at Brad and Agatha. And Agatha stepped into the doorway, shaking her finger at the snarling animal. Bad dog, she cried. Bad dog. Now you've given away our secret, too. Terri gasped. She realized that what Agatha was saying. Brad and Agatha are ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad and Agatha are ghosts.
Which I like that ending.
I do, too.
I think it works.
All of this book worked. It was awesome.
It
number one favorite book from now on.
Was great. I might have to agree
Very
with
good.
you right now.
If somebody wanted a Goosebumps book now, like people are like, well, if I needed to read one, which one should I read? Before, even though it wasn't my favorite, I'd be like, I don't know, Haunted Mask.
Right.
This is the book to read.
This is.
It's got everything. It's got a flavor
very
of all
approachable.
of them. Yes.
Before we get into good and bad, do you believe in ghosts, Dave?
I don't know.
Undecided?
Possibly. Undecided, yeah.
You could be persuaded.
Yeah, I
You're
guess.
an agnostic ghost man?
I think so.
Okay, that's cool.
What about you?
I do.
You do? Okay.
I do. I think...
You saw a ghost once in a closet.
I didn't see a ghost, but I heard a ghost. It's an anticlimactic story, I guess, but it's... we stayed at a haunted hotel in Salem, Massachusetts called the Hawthorne Hotel. It's been there for like 100 years. Famously, the third floor is haunted. I forget what floor we were staying on. But I woke up in the middle of the night and unmistakable sound, because I'm not a fucking idiot. So I'm sorry to get like defensive there when no one is attacking me. But it's just, what I'm saying is, the sound of like something moving in your room, Yeah. And... like what the sound of a hanger sliding in your closet sounds like. And so I heard, long story short, hangers sliding in the closet. I stayed paralyzed, did not move, pretended to be asleep because I didn't want anything to manifest. Now, maybe it can be explained away. My wife, producer Chib, says that it was a adjacent room. But I think... like that sound would be a bit more distant than the difference between a sound that occurs next to you, because it's a small room, than one that occurs behind a wall. But whatever. I'm willing to. I didn't see anything, so like I'm willing to entertain that idea. And I think also, I'm sorry to cannibalize this and talk so long, but
no.
But I think I'm willing to accept somebody's theory a little bit, because I agree. I think intellectually it makes sense that there wouldn't be any ghosts, because why would there? In the same way that like it makes sense to me intellectually that you die and then you stop and there's nothing, because scientifically that makes the most sense. And this is a larger existential, philosophical, religious conversation that one could have and do a better job than what I'm saying.
Well, they do a pretty good rationalization in the book on page 18. This was in my good writing that I actually really liked. That, believe in ghosts? No way, Terri told her. I kept my mouth shut. I knew that ghosts weren't supposed to be real, but what if all the scientists were wrong? There's so many ghost stories from all around the world. How can ghosts not be real?
Yes, I wrote... yeah, exactly. Page 18, the ghost argument. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. What I'm this I actually talked about in therapy. There's this. I'm on both sides, and there's dueling arguments, and I find the better argument is for ghosts, because
I think so too.
Because you're right that the book is right, that this is the argument you would make. There's so many like otherwise cogent, sane, normal people that have shared experiences. Some without any preconceptions or confirmation bias. Some it's like children, So I don't know. There's really compelling shit you hear all the time about this, and it's just.
I think I'm on the fence, but I'm closer towards the yes camp.
Yeah, I think also intellectually it makes sense that there isn't, but also, and this is trite, and we all know this, and it's basically I'm saying nothing here, but you only know what you know, and I have as a human person. I have a limited capacity to understand things. So who the fuck am I? Like, why do I have to understand?
Yeah, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Why do any of us have to understand? That's why it's so crazy to be. I support atheism, and I think I tend to say I'm agnostic, though with my upbringing, I probably do believe, but it's so insane to me that you could be staunchly atheist and be like an asshole about it and be like, no fucking way, dude, God's not real, or not even like traditional, guy in a robe God, but like that something else doesn't exist, like, because I don't know. This is the age-old argument. Like, how could you know? Because we only have the capacity to know what we know, which is not everything. So anyway, I do believe, and I think there's a lot of compelling shit that I hear all the time. Listener of the podcast, Judy, shout out Judy, turned me onto a podcast called Spooked from WNYC Studios, and they're in season 3 right now, and it's just people who have ghost stories and they tell them.
That's
and
awesome.
Sometimes they didn't believe before, sometimes they did. And some of them are so-so, but some of the stories are fucking wild. And it's like you listen and you're like, oh yeah, there's ghosts. Like, of course.
I have my dad's cousin, believe it or not, has a story that I've heard that's wild. I have multiple people. I also, when I worked at Five Below in high school, one of my managers lived in a house that was actually on the ghost tour in her town.
Oh yeah.
And like messed up stuff that would happen there.
I hate it.
She'd tell me. It's
yeah.
Crazy. But so, and we can save those ghost stories.
Sure.
There's always time for ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
We may have something where we can talk about things coming up. I mean, next month is October, isn't it?
That's right, baby. The best month of all.
So if you guys want content, we're going to be bringing it to you.
Yeah, we could do some ghost
X
eps.
is going to give it to you. So I guess let's
good and bad.
Let's good bad. So good, I'll blow through it. I said that the intro was all I want from a Goosebumps book.
Yes. The dream.
The dream. I mean, of course we always get a dream, but it was just really effective. Like you said, I don't remember how we got to the graveyard. I remember the sky grew dark and we were there.
Yes.
My sister Terri and I walked past rows of crooked old tombstones, cracked and covered with moss. Even though it was summer, a damp gray fog had settled on everything, sending a chill through the air.
It's great. Love it.
Is Murph attacking the...
Yeah, you could just see his tail right now. Yeah, he's moving the microphone. He's stepping on everything.
I said Jerry's rationalization of ghosts was good. I like the references to Dead House and other books, because it seems like this is him building a bigger universe. We did discuss this earlier, and I reached out to people on Reddit, but a lot of these books happen in the same universe.
Yes.
So the rules of the ghost in this book, the ghosts of this book follow the rules of the books in Dead House, even to the point where the main reason that these kids were around and that the old cousins were reaching out is that they never got to live their lives in America. They never got to live their free lives, so now they're doing it, but they're so isolated and alone that they bring people in.
Yes.
And they're basically at war with each other because they've been stuck there for 350 years.
Yeah.
But that's why, so they do the same way that Dawes brought the kids in.
Right.
Or the family in, that's what Brad and Agata did. So I thought that was really cool. And then all the ghost rules of melting faces and dogs and stuff is also in other books with ghosts. So that was cool. I think the creepy old man description that you wrote was really awesome. I very much liked when the kids became spooky skull boys and skeleton heads. And then I liked the darkness of the cave. In chapter 27, they're in the cave with the kids, and all of the candles get blown out, and it goes pitch black, and RLS just describes what he can see, or you can't see anything. So it's just like, the torchlight flickered and died. The heavy darkness made me gasp. I could feel bodies moving, scraping over the wet stone cave floor. I could hear the whispered pleas of the three ghosts. Closer, closer. And then a cold hand gripped mine. I screamed before I heard her whispered voice. Jerry, run. Terry, before I could catch my breath, my sister was pulling me through the darkness, into the rain, onto the slippery rock ledge.
It rocks.
Really cool. It does. And then, the expanded Goosebump lore is very good. So
Hell yeah. Cool. That's everything?
that's it.
So I think a lot of my stuff will echo yours. I had the opening's really good. It's a good hook. When I used to teach, and we talk about an introduction, and this was to a paper, but it could have certainly has to apply to any kind of creative writing. You have to have a good hook. And this does it. That first line of roughly, I can just read it. I don't remember how we got to the graveyard. It's like we said over and over again. You're just there. You're planted there in the scene, and that's what you want to do. On page 3, there's some nice description. If I could just read, it's a column of leaves, dust, and dirt swirled up in my face. I pinched my eyes shut. And there's just some, for a kid's book, there's some interesting use of language there. A column of leaves. You don't have to say that, but you do, and it's non-traditional. It's nice. And I pinched my eyes shut. I didn't close my eyes. I didn't, squeeze my eyes shut. I pinched them shut. That's just kind of nice. Little details. When on page 11, when Terry is trying to scare Jerry, and she keeps saying "woo." Oh no, the woo is Terry's like trying to get the attention of the beach hermit or something. And it says, "I mean, if you were living inside a cave and you heard someone go woo, would you answer back?" I thought that was pretty good. The ghost argument, I thought was good. On page 19, they describe this New England cottage, and they say the ceilings were low, which if you've been in any home from the 17th century or the 18th century or sometimes the 19th century, that kind of shows us and doesn't tell us, like you were saying, Dave. There's more examples of that, showing, not telling, which is great, that this area is old. Chapter 8, the spooky ghost kids, when either Terry or Jerry says, like, I don't believe you guys. It's sort of disconcerting that they don't care. They're like, they just say, you don't have to believe it. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, it's like, what do I do with that?
All right.
Yeah. And then I had another instance of good writing. On page 73, he writes, there were narrow rivulets of water. I mean, come on. Give it up for this fucking book, guys. It's good.
Give it up for RLS. Yeah. Should we just be like, hey, we just reread Ghost Beach and like, fuck yeah,
it
dude.
Rocks, man.
Fuck
High
yeah.
five.
Man, I've just been jiving to that at home.
I've been chilling off to my Ghost Beach.
Been spanking off into every single goddamn beach
Every
page.
red sock I have is now white.
Mm-hmm. So, bad writing. I just said that Terry and Jerry are dumb. That's so dumb. Bad naming. Why? It takes you out of it. It shouldn't. Yeah. On page 2, he describes the wind after all this good description, and he says, the wind made a deep sucking noise.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
And then it says, a column of leaves, the nice stuff you wrote. But, like, I've never gone outside and, like, the wind blows and it's like...
It's slurping me up.
of surprise on page 26, that just kind of fit weirdly. Page 73, just randomly... the whole thing is just like, so what do we do now? How do we meet them on the beach if it's raining this hard? We can't, I said. We have to wait till it stops. I hate suspense, Terry moaned. She hurried back to her room to get dressed.
Okay.
Just very on the nose.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. Brad and Agata are related and incestuous. That's whatever. I love that ghosts can't get past ancient rocks.
Yeah, that's their only weakness.
They're like, well, they're ancient. They're ancient rocks.
What more explanation do we need?
Aren't all rocks ancient for the most part?
No. The Rock is new.
Okay.
Dwayne Johnson.
All right. And like new metal?
Yes. New rock, yes.
And then on page 26, on chapter 26, when the dog comes out, they're like freaking out. They're like, what is that? A monster. So it's like, a monster, I thought. A ghost monster.
Right. Yeah,
which would be good. I would put that in the good writing if it was still in like a jokey fun part. But this is like the penultimate crazy fucked up, like, I'm gonna show you guys who's a ghost, and then a monster comes out and he's like, ghost monster.
Yeah.
It's just funny. So alright. You?
Yeah, I had on page 9, he keeps reiterating, Jerry keeps reiterating that his sister has hazel eyes. and it comes off like he's in love with her. Like it's repetitive and it's weird.
We know what family
That's
he's from.
true. He is a saddler or whatever. Page 14, he says, he's a saddler.
That was really good.
Page 14, he says, I like animals, so my hobby is science. So, okay.
That rules. That rules. It's very good. That's very good.
Page 72, the second example of, he says, my troubled thoughts again and again as well. That's sort of repetitive. And then I just had, this is just dumb stuff. In the scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Chapter 21, the old guy, Harrison, he says, allow me to introduce myself, and then goes on, which is so stupid and clunky.
Would be cool if he was a rapper.
Yeah.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Harrison.
Or it makes me think of Austin Powers. It's like, allow myself to introduce myself.
Yes.
I'm Richie Cunningham, and this is my wife, Oprah. Which is great. That movie's still funny. And that's it. That's all I got.
Cool. All right, so we're going to do our scare. What's your top scare?
Oh, baby. I didn't write any of this shit down. So I think I was most scared when the old guy was chasing them for the first time, probably. Like, I feel like I'm going to get caught.
Yeah.
How about you?
That was, and the description. So that was mine originally until the end of the book. When Terri gasped, she realized what Agatha was saying. This is when they realized that they're ghosts. Agatha slammed the kitchen door hard and turned back to Brad. What a pity that dog had to show up, she said, shaking her head fretfully. Now what do we do with these two kids, Brad? What do we do with the kids?
Yeah, it ends nicely. It's not like over the top. It's subtle.
And it's not like we're gonna get you.
Yeah.
It's just like, what do we do? Like, what do we do with them?
Yeah, right.
And it's just like being talked about in the third person by these ghosts and these old people that have been a little like, very mysterious. And we usually don't really like the big twists at the end, or we're like, okay, I get it. But this one was just good. Yeah. Best dressed?
I'm gonna have to go with my man Harrison because he looks like a emaciated, weird, like Indiana Jones. What's the Holy Grail? He looks like he drank the Holy Grail already.
You did. He's melted. Mine's going to Jerry because it's a rainy day. And tell me if this doesn't sound nice. Imagine it's raining out right now. It's like cold. You're by the water. It's raining. I pulled on my old faded jeans, torn at both knees, and a gray sweatshirt.
That does sound nice, Dave.
Imagine that, and like in a nice rainy day. I just thought that felt nice. That's what I want to wear.
Good vibes in this book. Everything's good vibes. I like it.
I thought that was just nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
All right. So what is your alternate title? I have a kind of alternate plot.
Okay, you go with yours because I got nothing.
So I think that this book would be really cool if it leaned more into like Pet Sematary.
Okay, sure.
Territory, or like there's a Native American curse.
Mm-hmm.
So that this is the family that came over and settled on the land, and of course did bad things to Native Americans, and they are basically undead.
Yeah.
Stuck on this land.
That's cool. I like it. I can dig it.
I think that would be a very cool plot for this if it was like more grown up.
Yeah.
So the reason that they still exist in these ancient rocks and these caves and stuff like that. So it's basically you can take the mysticism of like a Native American legend of the area and just kind of them and the sins of their past affecting them now. I thought that would be really cool.
That's cool. Like a poltergeisty kind of.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah.
So is there a title for that?
No.
Okay.
Ghost bitch.
Perfect. Beautiful. I'm doing Ghost bitch as well.
Okay. That's pretty much all you got.
We're hand holding on the Ghost bitch.
Adam Sandler in Ghost bitch. Adam Sandler is Adam Sadler in Ghost bitch.
Have you seen that tweet that's like somebody photoshopped him wearing a muumuu? And like he's on the red carpet in a long muumuu waving, and it says Adams. It's like it's supposed to be like a tweet from like that you'd see from like Entertainment Tonight or something, and it says Adam Sandler wears muumuu to the premiere of Fart Vacation. It's very good. Anyway, Adam Sandler's fine. He gets too much shit. He makes bad movies, but he's fine.
Yeah. So we need to return because we asked for reviews, and we got 3.
Oh, we did.
We got to
Thanks,
kill
guys.
some people.
Okay.
This is one that we've been sitting on for a while. So shout out, we're going to get to, so Yaki, who was on, Jackie, who was on our
monster.
Girl Who Cried Monster episode. And then Fake Mike Jones killing it
baby.
this week.
Are we doing one now?
He's got a...
Oh,
yeah,
baby.
We're going to do a quick
ready.
one. I think it'll be quick, though, because this one's been sitting since March 3rd.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
So Fake Mike Jones and Jackie, we have them coming up in our episodes, but we've been doing this one. So it says Goosey Bumpies. I am biased in writing this review because I am Matt's wife, a.k.a. producer Chib. But I want to hear him give me a Goosebumps death so he can stay in the doghouse.
Right. Okay.
So do you want me to start off?
Sure.
All right. So it's tough because she's our producer and I don't want to lose my job. Also, she's your wife and I don't want to offend her.
I'm going to be in the doghouse either way.
So this is it. So, Matt, the galaxy's at war.
Okay.
And you're busy fighting and trying to bring balance. And you're fighting me, and we fight about who we like more, DJ Jazzy Jeff or Carlton. And I have the high ground and end up burning all your books by accident. And then because of that, you hate books and you turn evil. And you murder a bunch of children, and then she dies of a broken heart.
Oh, no. I killed my wife with a broken heart?
She dies of a broken heart because you died. You got lit on fire and you became Darth Vader.
Oh, my God. Okay. So that's it, right?
Yeah, we just wait for time to take her.
Okay. It comes for us all. As do I. Okay. So, here's what happens. One day, we're both home in our apartment where we live together, because she's my wife. And I have to go get the mail. So, I know where the mailbox is, because it's my house, not to brag. And clearly biding my time. And Lauren is in the bathroom. I don't know what she's doing in there, but she's probably taking a dump. Probably. I don't know though.
Statistics
show that
there's a high probability of
the bathroom is for dumping, okay, and for pumping. If you're in the shower. But anyway, I have to go get the mail. The problem is that when I went to go get the mail, producer Chib stuck out her hand and started screaming she stuck her hand out the door and started screaming. She was like, "We're out of TP! I need the TP!" Again, I don't know what she's doing in there. It could be nothing, but she needs toilet paper.
Paper mache, maybe?
Yeah, right. She could be writing a long list of some kind.
She's making a comical speech to give at a wedding. Where she's like, well, let me say what's wrong with you.
She wants to
and it rolls
unscroll it like Lil Nas X at the VMAs. I know what's going on. And but I'm out getting the mail.
Pooping on my ass. Licking all this grass.
Put mom in my ball sack. I am really in a ball hat. So I'm getting the mail. She needs the TP. I don't respond. Nobody is there to give her the TP. Slowly, her body is consumed. The longer she sits, the further she sinks into the toilet. And when I get back, I just hear a flush, and it just like the end of a flush, like a whoop, 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 whoop. And turns out she flushed herself. She's headed to the ocean.
And then you become single, and the movie starts where you're like so bummed and it's been so long. And then we're like, time for Matt to get his groove back.
That's right. I finally meet somebody.
You get so sad, and you flush yourself down the toilet, and you both meet in poop heaven, and you fall in love again.
That's wonderful. No, when she dies, I'm moving on. Yeah. Veronica, if you're out there, please come home.
If you are a girl named Veronica.
Yeah, please come to my home. No, I love
right,
my
so-
wife. She
wife.
doesn't poop ever. And I love Borat voice, my wife. Said that. And don't put me in the doghouse.
No dogs. So give us a 5-star review on iTunes, or else you'll live, but we'd love to kill you. We got 2 more in the bank, and some special stuff coming forward for October.
That's
so
right.
get ready.
Get ready or else.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for pissing in.
Hey, see ya.
Boo.
Goodbye.